But need to be there at 7, between 7 and 8 to introduce ourselves and do that, or to learn what the agenda is. So 8:45 is where it looks like I would start getting something out of it. And that's what I'm probably gonna do. That's what I'm saying. And it's so funny because the people that used to know me when I actually worked, they're like, you sleep in now? Because I mean, I was always 4 o'clock in the morning. I was up. I had already done more in 2 hours than most people accomplish in a day. Now I'm like, oh no, alarm clock? Not happening.
I'm okay.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everyone. Welcome to a regular meeting of the Goldendale City Council. Shelley, would you please take roll call?
Johnson,
Present.
Helen Wheeler, Zach Dawn, Laura Meeker, absent. Ellie Casey here, Andy Holmes,
Here.
Danielle Covenant,
Here.
Mylan Walling.
Here. Okay, I was contacted by both Theone and Lauren earlier that they weren't gonna be able to make this meeting. Just to let you know, is there a motion for excusal? So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to excuse Lauren Megger and Theone Wheeler. Unless there's any discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thanks. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Public comment. Is there anybody that would like to make a public comment on items pertaining to our agenda today? Anybody on the line have their hand up there? See, no?
Nope.
Okay, hearing nobody want to make a public comment, we'll move on to the next item, and that's approval of the agenda and the consent agenda.
I move to accept the agenda and consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the agenda and the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we'll move on to the next item. And we don't have Dustin here yet, do we?
I thought, I can go give him a quick shout, see if he remembered.
Okay,
I know he said he was coming, but we could maybe push it to next meeting if he's not coming.
okay. We'll just pause for a second. We were expecting a presentation there. We'll make sure he might be on his way.
Need some of the elevator music,
Need some of
yeah, game show music in between.
Yeah. Yeah, Pete?
I can only assume that, the presentation for the water line project is going to love kind of wrapping it up.
Yes. Just to fill you in on, how it went, it's wrapped up.
Second part of what you did,
Yeah, oh yeah,
better than the first.
absolutely.
Much.
Mayor, if Dustin doesn't show up, do we wanna just move on and we come?
Yeah, here comes Sandy.
I told him I got his voicemail, so I sent him a text message.
We can move on, and if he comes in, we can go back to it. Otherwise, we can postpone it till the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. We'll move on to, department reports. And, our chief of police and fire chief aren't with us today. Did you say Doug was on the line?
Doug is logging in right now and Dustin just said I'm on my way.
Okay, okay. Well, would you have a department report, city administrator Sandy Wells?
So, City Action Days. is
Yes.
Coming up, in Lacey, and it's January 21st and 22nd. I know Danielle said she was gonna go. If anybody else is wanting to go, let me know so I can make hotel reservations, for the group, and then we can do that. So if you know for sure you're not going, you can also let me know that way I won't.
You said January 21st and 22nd.
Yep, it's a Wednesday and Thursday.
And then we were going to reach out to our two new council members to invite them if they wanted to go as well.
I just did, and then I'll also reach out to Nathaniel.
Nathaniel, okay,
Yep.
great. Yeah, we got a lot out of that when we went to it last year. I thought it was really worthwhile, and
Yeah,
we can work on setting up meetings with our legislators like we did before, and
yeah, we won't have our handy dandy map, an island there that told us where to go. We would have been lost, and we might be lost, but we'll have Mylan draw us a map of where we need to go.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
yeah.
Or I could even go along but then you wait till the time comes and whatever, so, yeah.
But, yep, we'll try to set up some legislative stuff and,
Yes.
just like we did last time, and, yeah, it was really informative, and,
Yeah.
yeah, so. Anyway, so if you can go, just let me know either way, so I can plan on you. Ellie, I'll just say you're a no.
You're a hard no.
I really feel that, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt,
Nope, you're good.
Sandy, but then it means a lot, I think, when you go up there and the Golden Dale plays the voice. And, so it's just, if you're not there, well, then no one's really gonna know that much about the Golden Dale. So anyway, I think it's really a positive thing to attend this event.
Great, thanks. Anything else, Sandy?
Nope, that's all I got.
Okay, and did you say Doug was,
He said he was logging in.
can back up and go back to presentations?
Yep.
Okay, well, we have presentations, update on the water line project and the Darland Street project. Thanks for coming, Dustin.
You bet. So I'll start with the waterline project. It's all wrapped up. We're just waiting on the final documents by the contractor to submit to release retainage, but all work's been completed. And, I think all, cleanup and everything's done, so that one's done. The Darland Street project, we finally got asphalt down, not last week, but the week before on Friday. They still didn't, they'll have to come back in the spring and do the intersection there at Darland and, Railroad Avenue. There's, some pieces of curb still missing around the catch basins, and they plan on doing those next week. They'll do the ADA ramps next week as well, but the main sidewalk will also be pushed off until the springtime. So we're expecting a closure here, or a winter shutdown, probably after they get the rest of the concrete curb done. But it's, we're still waiting on the grates for the catch basins. They've been back ordered 3 times for the contractors. That's why the blanks are still in on some of those places. Catch basins still need to go in. We've struggled to get the stormwater structures for the project, so.
Supply chain issues still affecting us, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. I see that there was rolled curbs put in on that project, and I remember a conversation we had with the Byers Street project, and you were told us that it was considerably more money for the rolled curbs. Have that changed, or?
Yeah, we're not seeing, very much of a price difference now, between rolled curb and standard curb. A couple dollars a foot difference is all.
Okay,
And it's mainly because the rolled curb has a little bit more concrete in it than the standard curb.
Yep.
There's definitely benefits to the rolled curb, especially where you don't have driveways constructed yet. They're on the south side of Garland Street. Lots of that's, the old Dubrowski area maybe be developed someday. So instead of cutting out curb, it makes sense for a rolled curb. And also, for snow plowing, it's preferred, for snow plowing as well.
gotcha. Just my opinion, I'm not a fan of the rolled curbs and I understand in a new neighborhood. I go to a couple of friends' house and roll up onto those curbs and they're not just an easy drive on. You're still hitting concrete with your car. You have to come almost to a stop to roll up onto them. So I'm not a fan of those. I'd like to see them not even used in our city, but that's my own opinion. Just
Doug,
voicing that.
Oh, Doug, did you have, something? Is he on mute?
Is his hand?
no, I'm just saying he's
Oh.
fine now.
Oh, okay. Anybody else have any, questions or comments about the water line project that just got completed and the Darling Street project that we're still in the middle of?
Well,
Hey, Steve.
you mentioned, the storm drains. They're gonna present a problem. They're still gonna get put in before, they shut down for the winter. So there will be a catch basin of. There's, I think, 3 or 4 that are still missing. And so they'll install those as long as we can get the castings for the top, the grates. That's holding us up right now. They have the bases finally, but now we're waiting on the castings for the top.
But if you don't get that grate, you just put a steel plate over the top of it.
We haven't discussed that because we really want them to go in.
I'm on board. Critical.
Yes.
By weather hits.
It is.
Because that would create accumulation of water in the road and.
Yeah, well, right now it's mostly sheeted to the south.
Uh-huh.
So it is ground through portions, but, we're sheeted to the south. There's openings now, so we go behind the curb and probably just infiltrate.
Okay.
Unless there was a really big storm that it couldn't handle it all, but, yeah, our goal is to get them to install the catch basins before.
Okay. Good luck.
Yeah. It's a topic of discussion every 2 weeks when we have a meeting, so.
Is there a time frame that they've given you to receive them?
Well, they went to pick them up and then they were told they were actually back ordered when they arrived. And so, it's been pushed out multiple times. I do not have a time frame. They were looking into other, suppliers, see what they could find. I haven't got a response yet from Crestline on that. That's currently the path we're down, is trying to find another supplier. And these aren't that rare of an item. I mean, there's rolled curb all over the country. In Vancouver, they're installed in most subdivisions. This should be an off-the-shelf item, but we're struggling to get our hands on 4 of them.
Wow.
Do you think that, the residents on that road, being as how it's gonna be shut down for the winter, the residents on the road and the people that use that road are gonna be experiencing any, major inconveniences, due to this?
Our intent is to open up the road back up. It's all
Okay.
paved now and tied in.
Yeah,
And so we should open it up before they leave for the winter. It'll be back. It just, the sidewalk won't be in, but it didn't have sidewalk before.
yeah,
But, yes, the road will be open.
excellent. Anybody else have any, questions or comments? Dustin?
Thumbs up's looking really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got to drive it just last week and it actually drives pretty
Yeah,
nice.
when it's done,
Good.
it's gonna be nice.
Thank you, Dustin.
Yeah, you know.
Appreciate it. Okay, now did you say Doug was on there? Doug, Public Works Director Doug Franum on the line there. Did you have an update for the council department report?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'll probably do an update. I gotta be at the next council meeting. I just wanted to kind of go over, kind of what Dustin was covering as kind of an update this go around, and next council meeting, I'll kind of give a full overview of Public Works,
Okay,
unless anybody has questions for me today.
anybody have any questions for our Public Works Director, Doug Frannon? No, no questions for you, Doug.
All righty, thank you.
They all have your phone number in case they think of something.
Put it on speed dial. No, I'm kidding.
I give it out to everybody that asks.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, Doug.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, we'll move on to thank you, Doug. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda. And that's, we did department reports. And that's council business. Under H, council business is the professional services contract with Fawcett. Attached is the professional services agreement with Fawcett Northwest to provide assistance with the city of Goldendale to update the city's critical areas ordinance. This agreement shall take effect on December 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026, with a compensation rate not to exceed $20,509. Of course,
Move to authorize
I
the
second.
mayor.
great.
There we go. We've already talked this one
Yeah.
to death, I think, so in the past, so.
Great. Okay, we have a motion and a second to authorize the mayor to execute a professional services contract with Fawcett Northwest in the amount not to exceed $20,509. Is there any discussion? Yes, Steve.
On page one of exhibit A, I'm kind of curious, under task 2, bottom of it says review WDFW data information regarding site potential tree height to support the review of stream buffers. I'm just kind of curious, but I should wait until.
Where was this at?
Where is it?
Under exhibit A, after the agreement itself.
Okay. Oh,
You said page 1?
Yeah, page 1, it says exhibit A at the start. Copy page.
after the agreement.
Oh.
So that is my understanding is just part of the critical areas is shoreline. And that includes height of trees. That is just part of any critical areas they have to give everything that's there, including vegetation. So he can come and talk more about it, but that's my understanding.
Right.
Yeah. I remember that being brought up. I remember asking, what does tree height have to do with anything? But they're pretty intricate in everything that gets included in that. And, tree height is one of the things that's required in it from
Yeah,
what we were
it's part of
told.
the state guidelines, and regulations that the state puts out. And so they have a checklist and that is part of that checklist, is my understanding.
And you mentioned shoreline or shoreline management act, and we've already discussed that, where it seems like there's a lot of redundancy here and overlapping jurisdictions and all this good stuff, so.
But you have to go through all the critical areas, even if we have it on another map somewhere, has to be also done here. And because this gets a little more involved than just the shorelines, but.
And then on the assumptions, right down below that, preparation of a critical areas and maps are not included in this, so remember that. I see that was a fundamental necessity to be able to implement any of this data.
Yeah, we have a map, I believe, of the last time we did it, but it wouldn't have the data on it. It would just show on a map where the area is.
So we do have,
I think in the last one, but I'd have to look and make sure, but I think I remember seeing some mapping that was in the previous ordinance.
would be interesting to see that map.
Yeah, I'll look and make sure and I'll send you an email on that.
And that was another one we were gonna get some more answers to on Thursday. Sandy and I have a meeting at the county services building with the county planner and a representative from the Department of Commerce and the city administrator of Bingen. We're all gonna get together and talk about this kind of thing so we can, kind of work together on it a little bit on those missing pieces. Yeah, they've been most helpful in moving forward with this.
Yeah, be very interesting to see that map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if there wasn't, I thought I saw one, but I'll look and make sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, great. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, and that's ordinances. And ordinance number 1549 is adopting the budget for 2026.
We've already had the first reading and the second reading is this one, so if there wasn't any more questions, let's move forward.
Yep, this is the second reading.
No changes, so.
Nope, there was no changes since the last one.
Move to adopt ordinance number 1549, establishing the 2026 fiscal year budget.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 1549, establishing the 2026 fiscal year budget. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, great. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, and that's ordinance number 1550, adopting fees for the Goldendale Airport. Let me get to that. The ordinance committee met, and it is recommended the attached ordinance to adopt fees at the Goldendale Airport. The ordinance committee and our airport manager did comparables on these numbers on airports our size, and this is what the recommendation from the ordinance committee is. If there's any questions or anything, I'd be happy to answer.
I move to adopt ordinance number 1550, establishing rates and charges for Goldendale Municipal Airport Services.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 1550, establishing rates and charges for the Goldendale Municipal Airport. Is there any discussion? Yes, Steve.
Towards the bottom, section 2. Another interesting part of it here, that this ordinance shall take force and be in effect 5 days from now and after its passage, approval, and publication according to law, subject to the provisions of section 4 herein. What is section 4? What is section 4? Just out of curiosity.
Well, he may have just, that might have been a typo.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
can
sure.
ask Quinn about that.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I saw that initially, so I'm glad you questioned it. I forgot when we were just doing it again, but
That come up and bite you if you're not careful.
Yeah, I missed that. We can reach out. Our attorney drew this up. Correct, Sandy?
Yes,
Our attorney drew this up, and he was section 4. He didn't include that in the paperwork, though. We can look into that and
Should we maybe table this till the next meeting? Is it gonna be okay to pass it?
to find out about the provisions of section 4.
It must be relevant in some way.
Well, if they're talking about section 4, there's not even a section 3. So-
There's no section 3.
Yeah.
I don't feel
pass it
comfortable.
with a possible change, and then we can, if that is just a change, then we can do the change without bringing it back, but if there is a section that's missing, we can also bring it back. So
okay,
either way,
so that's what I moved to do that, to accept it with the possibility of either if we are missing a section 4, then we're gonna table it, but if it is not missing a section 4 and that's just in there and should not be in there, then we move forward.
And that's assuming there's a section 3 also.
Exactly.
but I'll send you an email either way.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. So that's our motion. Is there any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, report of officers. And we'll start over here on this side, Steve Johnston.
Hey, thank you, Your Honor. I would just like to have a little discussion regarding our committee meetings. In the very beginning of my term, I brought it up, the discussion, as far as establishing a schedule for the committee meetings, just like our meetings here, just like our council meetings. And it never came to pass. We never really established anything in that respect. And I want to bring that back up again. And partially due to the fact that I don't know if any of the other committees are having the trouble that Public Works is. It's like herding cats, trying to get all three members on the same day to the meeting. We've been trying to put together a Public Works meeting now for 6 weeks, couple months, whatever. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Been a while. I'll give you an example here too, and I would suggest, now, for now, this is just consensus or conversation. Being able to, well, first of all, establish, just like our council meetings, 1 day a month, establish it. If that date comes up, there is nothing, there is no agenda, no problem. If there is, we have the meeting on that prescribed date. And there shouldn't have to be all three members. And I'll give you an example of a committee that works with one member, myself. I've been on a committee, although it's a subcommittee, just one person, and it hasn't met that often, for sure. Largely due to the fact that it's the public or traffic safety committee. A lot of the items that it would cover roll over into Public Works anyway. So I'm going to suggest, first of all, scheduling our meetings, pre-scheduling them, just like we do our council meetings, and having that meeting with less than all three members. If one member can only make it, all right. If the other two can't, so be it. Because it's been real frustrating, to be honest with you.
The one, I like and I understand what you're saying for that, for specifically the Public Works. I can tell you that in my opinion, for the events committee, that couldn't work because in the summertime, it's so much different when we're leading up to community days and things like that, because you're not just having to worry about now the people that are in here, you're having to schedule and have lots of meetings around people from the city that are helping with it, and that changes. I don't see how that could work for that specific committee. The budget committee, another thing, you have a lot more meetings later on in the year than you would in the beginning of the year. So and sometimes we have deadlines that change on that, not often, but so I don't know how feasible it would be for every single committee, but if it could help your committee, why don't you guys just do that in your committee and schedule it out?
That's a good point.
Not even worry about, that way you guys can do it, what works for you.
I appreciate, yeah, and respect what you're saying there and understand for sure. One size isn't gonna fit all.
Right.
Because the committees all deal with different aspects of what's going on in the city for sure. The Public Works Committee Public Works is pretty static.
Yeah.
We don't have a particular time of the year, we don't have anything that accelerates the need to have meetings and, that affects a degree of importance or anything like that.
Then maybe what we could do is you guys decide how you're wanting to do it, but then bring it back to the committee on agreeing that you only need a certain amount of city council members, let's say. That way, at least you have that buy-in from everyone, but then your committee, you can run the committees how you guys see fit.
Another important thing to remember about the committees is their intended purposes are to provide recommendations to the full council. So that's why we have 3-person committees, because it's not a quorum. They can meet and meet with whoever they need to get enough information to provide a recommendation to the council. That's why I feel it's a good idea to have all committee members at a committee meeting, because they're the ones that are providing a 3-person recommendation to the full council of what they think is best there. Now, of course, if one wasn't able to make it, you could do that with 2, but that's just the way I see how the committees work. And like Danielle was saying, the different committees, function a little bit different. For instance, the ordinance committee, well, they meet whenever an issue comes up. If the building inspector, code enforcement officer comes to me and say, hey, we have this ordinance that we need to address with the ordinance committee and the council, then I get a hold of them and we can make a meeting. That way, it's not just set. I can say, hey, can you guys meet in the next couple of days, or what have you, if the police chief has an ordinance that he needs to discuss. It's kind of on a need basis, or if a council member has an ordinance that they want the ordinance committee to. That's just one example where it's helpful for those committees to be kind of fluid and be able to meet when they're really needed to meet.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. But if it is time sensitive and you can't get all 3 of them together, what are you gonna do? If the agenda is time sensitive and is a critical issue.
Can you have it after the normally scheduled city council meeting? Just keep people here?
Council.
Well, I tried to get that passed.
And what you said, I agree 100%. But if you can't put together the committee meeting, take care of the business, then it's all for naught.
So when I was doing the research about the absenteeism, if people aren't coming to the meetings, in a couple of them, I read that that also goes forward to the committee meetings, and you will just be pulled from that committee if you miss a certain amount or cannot make a certain amount. I don't like that idea personally. But there are different cities have different ordinances to cover exactly the stuff that you're talking about, with issues on getting people to the committee meetings. So there are things that we could do, but we'd have to change.
Well, like I say, I just wanted to bring it up, just
I
for
appreciate it.
discussion for the time being. We're almost at the end of the year. We will be reconfiguring our committees here in the very near future. So let's see what happens. But yeah, it's regularly frustrating
I understand.
in my respect.
I can't even imagine. I would be beyond frustrated.
So anyway, thank you.
No problem. And check your email today. I did send out an email to all the Public Works Committee members for a tentative date for the next meeting.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
So, this just, and I'm sorry, tell me to shut up if you want to shut up. So this brings up a point though, with the new committees going to be divvied out and stuff. Maybe we ought to really think hard about who's on what committees and who can show up for more committees or less committees or this or that, because, or if there's some people that can't show up to many things, lessen it, because nothing in our ordinance says that you are required to have 3 people for a committee. That's the norm, and that's what's in most people, but nothing says it has to. And we are the ones that can decide that. So if you're in a committee right now that you're not wanting or don't think that you could do it justice, bring it up, let the mayor know.
Okay.
Or if you want to switch, that way maybe we can get it to where they're a little bit more even on attendance.
Like I said, I just wanted At least with the public work committee, it's been an issue. And not just with the last meeting I'm trying to put together, it's been there from the beginning. So
And that's a big committee. I mean,
it covers a lot of ground.
I'd love to be on it with you, brother.
Let's see.
Saying.
Well, thanks, Steve. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thanks, Steve. Ellie, Casey.
Town looks really nice with the Christmas decoration.
Oh, yes.
Just needs some snow
Oh, you think so? I
now.
think so. Andy.
I really don't have anything, but we were discussing something before the meeting, ugly sweaters again this year?
The what?
Ugly sweaters for council
Oh,
meeting?
absolutely.
Okay.
Ugly
Next
sweater.
council meeting.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna wear a tie.
Well, you can wear a tie.
It's gotta-
I'll wear a Christmas tie.
Okay.
I love it.
That's all I got.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Danielle.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I wanted to remind people of is, last year, after we had come back from the Olympia or from Lacey and the legislative session, we talked about seeing if the departments had anything that they wanted to give to us by the end of the year, this year. And that way we can do research on it, if they have any bills that they see are coming up and they want us to fight for them on. So what I'd like to see, if possible, is the departments to come up with, just a kind of little short, yes on this, no on this, whatever. I did reach out to quite a few last year and got some really good input that we were able to use while we were there. But it'd be nice to not have it, to do it last minute and have them not have the time to look at it like last year. So
Yeah,
if that can be pushed to them,
sure.
it'd be appreciated.
Yeah, we'll do.
That's it.
Great. Thank you, Danielle. Okay, and next up, Mylan Walling.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mayor. I just, well, again, the comment was made about the Christmas decorations, and we were talking about earlier for the meeting is the speakers, because the events committee, they got the Christmas committee, to get new speakers, and I look forward to, hopefully they're working and they can use them right now.
Yeah, I'm
For the
gonna reach out.
holidays.
I'm gonna reach out about that to see,
Yeah, okay.
when they can get the
Yeah.
music started.
Yeah, well, there's that. I guess that's, well, I also want to have a comment about the airport committee. The airport committee has done a lot and they got a lot on the agenda and, they're really accomplishing a lot. And we're working with their congressional delegation to, get more support from them so, yeah, that's what I had, Mayor.
Great, thank you, Mylan. Rick Lundeen, is on the line. Do you have an update on the airport?
I actually don't have any more than I had, I think, Monday. We're in the process of solving the beacon light. If you go out at night, it's supposed to look like a white and a green and a white and a green. We have green. So did some troubleshooting, got the bulbs ordered. We'll have it fixed here shortly. That's about the big update I got.
Excellent, thanks, Rick. Did anybody have any questions for Rick? Thanks, Rick. I appreciate you joining us.
And thank you for passing the ordinances, guys. It's going to make a big difference.
Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you for all your work. Yes, thanks, Rick. Okay, well, I just had a couple updates. Just wanted to remind everybody that the Christmas parade will be next Saturday, December 13th at 5 p.m. There'll be all the traditional Christmas tree lighting on the courthouse lawn and all the fun activities that take place during that. So hope to see you there. The other thing I wanted to bring up so you could start thinking about it is what we talked about earlier, the committees. Now, the city rules, our city ordinance says that the city council is in charge of deciding who is on what committees. So, we'll reach out to our new council members also. But once the new council members come in January, I'd like for you to think about how you'd like to divvy up those committees. If you'd like to write down, each council member write down, this is just one idea, write down the committees that they would like to be on, ranked from importance of first to second and go around there. Obviously, no more than 3 people can be on each committee because then you would establish a quorum. But something for you to think about. It's totally up to the council. It's not the mayor or the executive branch's privy to just assign those committees according to our rules. It's up to you as a legislative body to do that. So something for you to think about. We have a few weeks, or a month or more to, decide that, but you know, that's just some suggestions on how it's been done in the past but it's totally up to you guys. You know, there might be somebody that has never been on a committee that would really like to have the experience of that committee. Or there might be someone that has been on the same committee forever and is doing work on it that would like to stay on it. Whatever the situation is, I know a lot of you have already reached out to me about committees you'd like to be a part of, and I think it's good to, you know, mix it up and get more experience in other committees and things like that. So be thinking about that. We can talk about it more later, but you know, as we all know, those committees have an important function, and it's up to you guys how you want to see those committees formed and how you want them to be. So we can think about that and decide how you want to do that coming up.
I think that you can only be on 2.
Yeah, each council member can only be on 2. And there can only be maximum of 3 people on each committee. So, and we'll have, of course, you know, we'll have 2 new council members, and they might have ideas on committees they'd like to be a part of also. So we can work that out when the time comes, but you can start thinking about that now, how you would like to, what committees you want to be on. Maybe rate them in importance of the one you want to be on the most and go down from there. We could do a draft like in football where we start off with one person and go around and pick like they would in the NFL draft, something like that. But it's up to you guys to decide all that. So,
Remember, I think the airport committee, that's separate.
yes, that's a separate one. We do have the standing committees that you all know, the ordinance committee, the budget committee, the events committee, and the ordinance committee. Those are the standing committees that they all have 3 council members each on them. And then we have 2 committees, and this is also totally up to you guys how you want to see that structured. We have 2 committees that only have 1 council member on them. Steve mentioned earlier the traffic safety committee, which is made up of Steve, myself, and the chief of police, Mike. And then we have the airport committee, where currently Myland is the only council member that serves on that committee. And so, you know, that's another one that is up for the council to decide. As it happens, a new council member that's coming in, Nathaniel Hill, happens to serve on that airport committee currently. So
Yes, he's been on that for
he's
some
been on
time
that
now.
for some time, so he might be the council representative on that committee when he takes over that council spot. But again, that's totally up to the council.
But those extra committees, does that negate that council member from being able to be on 2 of the standing committees?
Not according to the ordinance
Okay.
that I read.
Okay.
Because you can take away subcommittees and things like that. Those extra ones, those are ones that we just said, okay, let's have this for a while, whatever. They're not the standard ones. So,
yeah.
I mean, we could add as many subcommittees as we want and take them away just as quickly. So,
Well, in the beginning, I was led to believe that wasn't the case.
oh,
That's why I'm only on 1 standing committee.
not how I read it.
Yeah.
We can always look at that and change it too.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know, you're the legislative body. You decide those things as a body.
Because I was gonna suggest an option would be to roll like the traffic safety committee into byline for public works.
And that would, in my opinion, be the smart way to do it anyway, because the same thing like with the events committee, it would be like the events committee having a specific thing just for community days or whatever, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it should be rolled in. I don't see why there's an extra personally, but
Okay.
you know better because you're part of that committee.
Right.
And you've met one time
I
this year.
discovered though, with just 1 council member, it's easier to put a meeting together.
enough.
To say the least. Which brings me back to the suggestions I was making before about having committee meetings without necessarily all three members present all the time.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
This discussion, just want to throw it out there on the table, just to hopefully help expedite
Yeah.
some of this.
I would definitely be for two with just one. If you have three council members, I'm not certain I would think that that's a great idea personally.
I agree.
Because of what the mayor was saying about how there's a reason why it's a commit, they're recommending, and one person recommending,
That can get scary.
yeah. It could, I'm afraid of how it would look from the outside. If one person's coming in saying, this is how I want it, well, why? You know, there was no discussion.
It would be an exception to the rule. It wouldn't.
I think two should be exception to the rule.
What's that?
I think that having two instead of three could be the exception to the rule personally, but that's just my opinion.
It would help streamline the ability to coordinate the meetings.
Yeah, that I totally
Because, you
agree.
know, everybody's got personal lives. I understand that. I respect that too.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
But good to know.
And that was the only other thing I had to update on. The Traffic Safety Committee did meet last week, for a recommendation to have a public hearing regarding changing the speed limit up on 21st Street. We've had several, folks that live up there reach out to us about 25 miles per hour is too fast in that neighborhood, because of the winding of streets. Anyway, there's a lot of, people up there that would like to see that speed limit lowered up on 21st Street. So we're going to reach out to the neighborhoods up there, send them invites to come to council and express their views on the matter. And then it'll be up to the city council to decide whether they think that speed limit should be lowered. So that's one function that the Traffic Safety Committee has played recently, to provide a recommendation to hold that hearing. And it was all based on, public input. That's one of the good things about being in this position is we're open to the public to come to us and express their concerns or desires to have whatever it is changed. And we can bring that up in these committees and have meetings about it and invite the public to come and weigh in on topics that affect them. So that'll be one that we'll be looking to do at the next meeting. I think we're talking about January on
I think
that.
it'll have to be January because
Yeah.
for a public hearing, you have to give 14 days.
Yeah, right.
15 days for the RCW, and I think we're gonna be shy of that.
Yeah, so we'll have that in our January meeting, just coming up, just to think about. If you get a chance to drive around up on 21st Street, you might be able to see what some of the people who have come to us.
I'll just comment on that. Growing up in that neighborhood, there was every once in a while you have the fast cars coming up in there, and my dad lives out there, and I'm telling you, I see cars that up and down 21st Street. Oh, if they're doing 25, it looks like they're doing over.
Well,
But there's a lot more cars parked out on the street.
Yeah.
It is a somewhat narrow street and crooked.
Yeah, it's not like Columbus or Broadway that's just straight. It's a winding road that people park on both sides. And so if you're doing 25 up there and a child comes out, you don't have enough chance to stop. And so that's why there's been several people that live up there that would like to see that changed, and we'll hear about it shortly. And that's a chance for us to do our jobs and, listen to the public and take into account what they want to see happen in their neighborhoods. Steve.
That reminds me of a comment that Chief Mike made some time ago. A lot of the issues that we end up dealing with are complaint driven. Fortunately, not all of them. Some are just good suggestions, good solid suggestions for events and stuff like that. But unfortunately, most of them are complaint driven, and it's encouraging that you have the residents stepping up and letting us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we need it. Just on a technicality, I've thought about this a lot too. Maybe we should extend the title of it to traffic/pedestrian safety.
Yep, they go hand in
We're not
hand.
worried about safety of those crazy drivers. We're worried about the
Yeah.
pedestrians are gonna run over.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a small.
Appreciate it. All right, well, thanks, everyone. That's all I had. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, open public comment. Is there anybody that would like to make a public comment? It can be any topic. Yes, Mr. Paul, please come up to the podium and state your name and area of residency, please.
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Paul, City of Goldendale. I heard about your comment about trying to get the speakers connected and the music for downtown. I've been working with Lene Johnson and Trisha Ashley. What we're looking for is an individual with a bucket truck to wire tie the final portion of the speaker wire between basically the general store, Soul to Soul, down to the main intersection where the Goldendale Pharmacy is. And if we can get that bucket truck up sometime within the next week or sooner, we can get those wires zip tied and then we can get those speakers activated. So I am working on that. Just
Okay.
information only. I know you were gonna reach out.
Oh, appreciate it.
Someone over here making some commentary. I think it was Mr. Walling. But I'm working on that and hopefully we can get that achieved by the end of the week.
Oh, appreciate the info, because I knew the speakers had been put up.
They
The
looked around.
wire. Yeah, great.
Okay,
Appreciate
so
it.
it'd be the pharmacy is where it would be
Correct.
operated from. Okay, okay.
I was very happy.
That's good.
they Stepped up to do that.
Yeah, good.
That's cool.
Have you thought about contacting any of our tree trimmer people in the area?
That's a possibility
They all
also.
about bucket trucks.
I'll make a note of that as well.
Jim Green just lives right out there by the fairgrounds.
I know, Randall Jones has one too.
Randall Jones,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a note of that.
Great.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anybody else like to make a public comment? Anybody on the line have their hand up? Nobody does. Okay, great. Well, we'll move on. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Some of.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.